Holger.
I'm Holger Breiter from SHERP 17. I'm editor with Emma Reports as well. You talked about the scalability problem. I also think there's a complexity problem, because if you're dealing with living organisms and you move up the evolutionary ladder, these tend to become more complex. And at some point, they turn into extremely complex non-linear systems, as they call it, and they act pretty much unpredictably, like humans. So if you are trying to design metabolic pathways or whatever you're doing with living organism, do you think you're going to hit this complexity problem at some point, at bacteria or at a higher stage, and how are you going to deal with it? That you're dealing with systems that you cannot predict what's happening.
This is the Jeff Goldblum question,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
Every time he gets a part in the movie, he asks your question. Or his head turns into a fly or something.
Shall I take off my mask then?
Sometimes simultaneously.
Yeah, you know, and it's a Michael Crichton theme of, you know, that he uses to sell a lot of books and scare the public simultaneously. And it's fundamentally, I think it's a false notion. Biology is not that unpredictable, and it's not that prone to what you're attributing to, that people attribute to, physics at catalytic stages of reactions. I think it's just a false notion. As we learn how to build things, you'd like to do it totally on the basis of first principles. We're still trying to learn most of those first principles in biology. We still don't know the full action of those cells. But I think biology is much more linear and much more explainable than we as a species would like to think. And I think that's what's going to come out of when we do a large number of human genomes. We're going to, for example, find we're a much more genetic and predictable species than our self-view would have it.
And I bet you we're not.
That was very predictable.